Hi guys, Random here, back with a bit more World of Warships. Right, well, today I was going to show you a boat. However, Wargaming have come out with a bit of an announcement, even too many ands in that. As I no doubt you are fully aware, they're talking about submarines. And they intend to put them into a test server in a specific game mode to try it out, really. The event where we had the submarines gave them enough information to say that people enjoyed it and they wanted it to carry on. Well, let's talk about submarines, shall we? First off, this is not a rant at all, okay? Not by any stretch of the imagination is this a rant. This is considered opinion, okay? It's my considered opinion and yours may be different, but that's perfectly okay. Otherwise we would all be photocopies of each other and the world would be very boring. Submarines, right. In the event, let's talk about submarines and the way they played. In the event, they were slow. They were very slow. Okay, it took a long time to get anywhere in your submarine. Okay. They could submerge. They could submerge indeed. But you had a limited amount of time that you could submerge for. Then, whether you liked it or not, you were coming up. You would emergency blow and you would head for the surface. They were sneaky while they were submerged. Yep, ships couldn't fire at them. Did have the deck charges, but, you know, that's kind of a different story. But they were sneaky. And you couldn't see them until they popped up. When they popped up, they could fire their torpedoes. Torpedoes are great. Brilliant. Fantastic. But you could only fire them at the surface to actually hit anything. And when you were at the surface, you were at your most vulnerable. So, let's consider the submarine, shall we? Sneaky, slow, devastating if it pops up and it's in the right place at the right time, dead if it isn't. So yeah, I don't think they're actually going to be that much of an issue. There's a lot of people that have jumped on the angry villager flaming torch and pitchfork wagon that are saying it's going to kill the game. You know, they're comparing it to the CV rework. It isn't anything like the CV rework. Okay, first of all, we had CVs in the game. What they did was completely change the way that CVs interacted with the other ships, the way they played, the way the game looked if you were playing the CV. They introduced a whole new system of flight, new weapons for the planes. So what they did was they took something that people knew had problems, right? Even the most ardent CV player will tell you that there were problems with the way the RTS style gameplay actually played. But they, rather than kind of polish it and make it better, they just changed it completely. So yes, there was huge issues when it came to actually rebalancing the way everything played, because you hadn't taken something you knew, you'd taken something that nobody had a clue about, and you were starting again from scratch. I would imagine that very early alpha versions of the ship versus ship type gameplay on this game probably had the same issues, where, you know, guns were just completely over penetrating any sort of armour and citadeling the ships every single time. Yeah, and they worked it out, and they went through alpha, they went through beta, and then they released the game, and they've been honing it ever since to make it, you know, better. Better is in inverted commas there, because your opinion may differ. So what they've essentially done by reworking the CVs is have to go back through that alpha, beta, and then release cycle. Now, I would say at the moment they are approaching the end of beta with it. It's still not quite right, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. So that's where we are with the CVs. With the submarines, what they're doing is they're introducing a completely new vehicle type. This isn't something that people have any established expectations in the way they're going to play, because we've all been in the Halloween events where you take a tier 3 ship and all of a sudden it's like tier 9 or tier 11, just with, you know, a shed load of extra artwork put on the boat to make it look spooky. You know, there are huge differences between taking something that people are familiar with and introducing something new. So I don't quite get why people are up in arms about it. I really don't. You know, I would be of the opinion at the moment, if I had to advise somebody, I would say wait and see. Okay, be cautiously optimistic. I think they will have learnt a lot from the flashbang wallop that they received for the CV rework. If they haven't, then they're silly people, because that was just uproar, absolute uproar. People were furious about it. I didn't play the game for, well, probably a couple of months. Just, no, don't want to play it, it's not fun. You know, you've got these planes that are just never ending and coming to get you, and terrible. Didn't enjoy it, so I didn't play it. I went and played something else. I've come back to the game now to see what it was like, and to be fair, it's not too bad now. Still some issues, but it's not terrible. And you can actually have fun again, unless you get a really, really, really focused attack constantly from a carrier player. Then, yeah, you kind of rely on your AA a bit, and, you know, it works again now, so you've got some defence. As far as submarines are concerned, I don't get why people are angry. I really don't. You know, yes, they existed. They existed, and they were the bane of convoys. They were the bane of battleships. They were the bane of bloody everything. You know, they turn up pretty much out of nowhere, launch some torpedoes, stick their periscope up so they could look at you, and then watch you blow up. So, yeah, they were sneaky, but they weren't fast. And they couldn't stay underwater forever. Even, you know, in real life, the diesel subs had to surface to cycle their motors, to recharge their batteries, to get fresh air in the boat. They weren't invulnerable. If memory serves, I think the first Enigma machine was taken off of a downed German U-boat by three sailors. I'm sure it was 3. They went on there, they got it, and they came back. You know, if it wasn't for the U-boats, the war could have gone on for a lot longer. Yes, I know how ironic that sounds, but it's true. You know, cracking the Enigma code shortened the war. These things existed, and I really don't see the harm in Wargaming trying to implement it into the game as long as they do it properly. And as I said, given their experience over the CV rework, I'm reasonably confident that they're going to try and do it properly. So, what's the too long didn't read version of this? Too long didn't read is going to be just wait and see. Submarines might be coming into the game. Wait and see. If they're coming into the game, do you know what? More stuff to research. More ships to play. You know, or boats as submarines like to be called. But there are no reasons at present to start reaching out and lighting those torches and grabbing those pitchforks. Not yet. You know, let's see what happens first. And let's take a kind of measured approach at this. Because I don't believe that they will cock it up anywhere near as badly this time round. I think they've learnt some valuable lessons. So, that's my 2 penneth worth on it. Let me know your thoughts. You know, it's perfectly okay. Like I say, this is my opinion. Perfectly okay if yours is different and you don't want to see subs in the game. Let me know why. You know, what reasons do you have not to want them in the game? Try and convince me. You know, you never know. If you've got a good argument there, then I might actually agree with you. But at the moment, I'm kind of, let's wait and see. Anyway, that's quite enough from me for now. So, I got it right this time. So you know what to do, guys. Like the video if you liked it. Share it, subscribe, comment. There's some other buttons as well you can press while you're there if you like, you know. Why not? Dear oh dear. Yeah, if I was going to be really YouTuber-y, I'll go, let's get 100 likes! But yeah, no, come on. If any of you actually hear me, you know how far away from that I was. So yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. But for now, it's Captain Random signing off. Take care, and I'll see you again in the next one.